Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Putu Arya Wirawan. I'm a second semester student majoring in English Language Education Department in State Hindu University, Igusti Bagus Kriwat Basar. Today I will be giving an explanation about moral and value theory. And let's go to the topics. I have three topics here. First is moral development theory by John Piaget and Lawrence Kohlberg. The second I have moral foundation theory by Jonathan Haidt, and the last one value theory. Now I know this discussion going to be very heavy based on theory, but I'm not going to go for a deep dive. I'll be just pinpoint the main part of each theory here and try to give my explanation about it. And I do hope you enjoy my explanation. Without further ado, let's get to the main part. Alright then, let's start with moral development theory. First of all, let us ask ourselves what is moral development theory. So simply, moral development is a person's ability to know the good and bad of certain action. It doesn't stick with good and bad, but it's also what do we believe and what do morals we brought to ourselves since we are born. And then let's continue on. We will be discussing about moral development theory by John Piaget. Now, Jean Piaget actually developed it into two parts. What that is a heteronomous morality, starting from the age of 5 until the age of 8, and the second one is autonomous morality from the age of 8 until adulthood. Now then, what's the difference between these two theory that he brought up? For the first one, heteronomous morality, its rules are seen as unbreakable and come from external authorities, parents, teachers, morally based avoiding punishment and gaining rewards. So the main focus in this part, for the first part, is avoiding punishment and gaining rewards. What does that actually mean actually? So between the age of 5 and 8, we as a child develop a moral that is solely focused on gaining a reward or getting a gift from your parents or your teachers after you done something like studying, or maybe you got the first rank in this class. And then you got a reward by your parents or maybe your teachers. And we try our best to not get a punishment because what reason? Because our moral said that if we get punished, we will be very upset, very sad, and we try not to try to evade that feeling. So that's the first part. And the second part is autonomous morality, age 8 until adulthood. Rules are understood as flexible and can be discussed and changed through mutual agreement. Morality is based on fairness and cooperation. Now put your focus on morality is based on fairness and cooperation. So what does that actually mean? It means that as we grow older to adulthood, our moral is not based on gaining reward or avoiding a punishment. We try to get the most fairness and also try to have a cooperation with other human beings, or simply friends, or maybe families, or maybe your college, something like that. And it's very more flexible. You are not very, let's say, your eyes is not focused on certain rules or anything. You just need to get it done, and you will be feeling blessed. And that's the thing about moral development. And then we continue on about moral development theory by Lawrence Kohlberg. Alright, Lawrence Kohlberg put this into three main points, and then actually it has 6 points. You can see there on the 2 dots below. Let's start with the first one. Pre-conventional morality from the age of 1 until 9 years old. So morality is based on avoiding punishment and getting personal reward. It's almost the same like the theory before, but in here the main focus is trying to be obedient to your parents or teacher, and then try to reduce the punishment or maybe avoid them in actual sense. And also self-interest. If you're back in become 9 years old or 8 years old, we have this certain self-interest about something that you want to learn, or maybe something you want to buy, or something that you want to do or play. And that is pretty conventional morality that is based on that age specifically. And then second, moving on to conventional morality from the age of 9 until 18 years old. Morality is based on living up to expectation of others and maintaining social order, and it has become, now this morality here is really focused on the mind of a teen, someone who's just is not an adult, but he's still a teenager, and he wants to get others expert he wants to get others attention. So that's why they live by following their expectation, those people expectation, either by sending it to an online society like the social media, or maybe their friends trying to keep up with the trend. That's the word that is very frequently used for this theory. And the third one, we got post-conventional morality, starting from the age of 18 until adulthood. Now, morality is based on upholding universal ethical principles and justice, even if they conflict with social norm. So let me simplify it to you. In here, when you reach 18 or adulthood, the morality change over time, just like in this the other two. They change over time, but in adulthood, you're not very keen to others' expectation, others' feelings, other, or maybe the rules that is not already there. When you are adult, you are trying to get the things that you want by your ethical principles that you have. For example, like if you have a principle like never going late to class, or maybe going to work, because the idea is in adulthood, you want to go to work and you don't want to be late, and that is the principle of it. You don't want to be late. If you are late, you will be feeling bad, or maybe something, or your mood is very sour throughout the day, and that is post-conventional morality. Now then, let's continue on about moral foundation theory by Jonathan Haidt. Now, Jonathan Haidt believes that there are universal initiate moral foundation that underlie our ethical judgments. That is what he said. And then we continue to the sixth foundation that he actually said in his theory. So first of all, care and harm. This foundation emphasizes avoiding harm to others and promoting the well-being. And the second, we have fairness or cheating. So they try to not to cheat. This foundation focuses on justice, reciprocity, and ensuring everyone gets a fair share. Initially, you don't want to get cheated. You want to play fair, and that is your moral foundation. If you have a moral foundation of fairness, you will be, I can say, succeeding in life, yeah. And then you got loyalty and betrayal. This foundation prioritizes loyalty to one's group, family, nation, maybe, but also to a person if you have a loved ones, and upholding the commitments to with each other respective group or someone. And then we go to authority and subversion. This foundation values respect for authority, tradition, and hierarchy. And the fifth, we got sanctity and degradation. This foundation centers on ideas of purity, disgust, and respecting certain things as sacred. What do you mean by sacred here? So the thing is, sanctity and degradation here works like, if you have this foundation, your moral foundation is doing this thing is not very good. It's an act of evil, is an act of buffoonism or stupidness. That is the sanctity and degradation. You don't want to degrade that sanctity that you have in your morals. You don't want to change that, and that is the foundation of sanctity and degradation. Now, this moral foundation is very good, and almost every human have it in their subconscious mind, whether you believe it or not. But let's just move on to the last one. The last one is liberty and oppression. This foundation added later emphasized individual freedom and avoiding oppression. So, as we grow into adult, we want to be free. We don't want to be held by anything like the law that is not very humane, or maybe your parents, your strict parents, something like that. So you want to have the liberty to have freedom. You want to do anything you want with that freedom. You want to do anything with the freedom that you have in adulthood. but you still have morals in it. So it will not contradicting the law that is already set by the government, something like so. And with this foundation, with the foundation of liberty and oppression, you will live, and you will live a very quiet life. It's not very quiet, but you will have the most a lot of freedom in your life, and you will live more enjoying the word that I can tell you about that. Now let's continue to value theory. So according to Odysseus law, I quote this: moral and values will always be related to goodness. And lastly, we have value theory. Value is something that is very abstract concept in our human nature. We often value things either objectively or subjectively. So this is based on my own point of view or my opinion. Value, the concept of value is very abstract. Is something that we cannot see, but it's something that is in our head, and it's something that we must get, or is something, and is also something that we can get. And most of the time, value is something that we can use, as I point in this point. On this point, first the first point is value that have a connection, value that have a usage. Basically they are the same, but a, a value that have a connection means that the value itself has a connection to your own morals. Without those morals, this value does not exist in our head. And then we got value that have a usage. We set certain values in ourselves. We set those to get the things, or we want to be that person. What do you mean by that person? It means that we want to be the person that we think of, that is the person that is very something, not it's not very something that is in our imagination, someone who is perfect in our mind. And that is the concept of value that have a usage. And that is the end of my explanation. Let's move on to the conclusion. So, as a conclusion of my explanation, moral and value offers frameworks or a body or maybe a skeleton for understanding what we think, what we thought is something that is good or something that is bad, and how we determine what is important in our life. These two theories, moral and values, hold with a complex question about foundation of morality, whether it's universal or relative, and how to navigate situation where value class. Despite ongoing debate, moral and value theory provide crucial tools for navigating complex choices, fostering flourishing societies, and living a meaningful life. A life that has a meaning is a good life. That's how the saying said. So, the importance of moral reasoning and critical thinking in applying ethical framework, that is the main conclusion that I can give to you about moral and value theory. As a closing for this video, I will say thank you for tuning in and watching, and I do hope you get a new perspective regarding moral and value by observing those theories that I have given you, those 3 point topics that I've been giving you. I will say as a final word, thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.